All right, well, we are 7 o'clock straight up. Quite a few items on the agenda tonight. I think we ought to get the meeting started. So let's call the meeting to order. And Debbie, if you would note attendance, and I know you already know Tom's probably going to be here shortly.
Noted.
Thank you much. All right, well, we've got a flag salute up first, so let's do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's jump right in to our agenda review, which has been slightly tweaked. Debbie sent out a note to you guys, but I would accept a motion to approve the agenda as was recently modified and is as currently published on board.
I move to approve the agenda as published currently on Board Book.
So moved.
Wait, second.
And second. Any discussion on that item? All right. Debbie, would you please take the vote?
Jonathan?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Janet? Janet? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Thank you. Lori?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Irv? Thumbs up, Irv? Thumbs down?
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor?
All right. Well, we will proceed with the agenda as is currently published. And that brings us to 4A, which is our school report.
Maddie, if you could promote Dustin.
Sorry, I didn't even see that on the agenda. I will promote him now. Am I blind? I don't see that on the agenda anymore.
It was accidentally removed and was added back in when we realized it was missing.
I see. Okay.
And Maddie, I believe Debbie may have sent you the names of some students that will be presenting as part of Central Howell and Pradham report. Do you have that information?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, that's part of this. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Are our students ready?
Almost.
Okay. I had some positive words to say before they came on or after they came on, so I can just go ahead and start with that to save time. Everybody knows it's been a trying year and there's so many great activities that we've missed out on. So we're really looking forward to getting back to 5-day school week. In-person parent club meetings, Oktoberfest. Central Howell is planning on being at Oktoberfest to get some yummy deep fried Twinkies and Oreos and raise that money. Pancake breakfast at Pradham is a big one. Geography Bee is a Pradham activity they look forward to every year. Thanksgiving dinner at Pradham. Portland Opera to Go has been coming to both schools lately. Just the Christmas program, school program, spring play, athletics, talent show, Grandparents' Day at Central Howell, and History of Central Howell Night has been very popular with multiple generations of former Cougars. And end of the year picnic to kick off the year. I see our students appearing. A special thank you to our custodians. They have been awesome this whole time. Through CDL and hybrid, they've been learning new protocols, doing extra cleaning and remaining flexible all the way through. That's Richard Winkler from Central Howell and Chris Graves from Prattham. Students from both schools have been so well behaved. They've done an outstanding job of following school rules and the state guidance. Teachers and support staff have done an outstanding job of responding to change and being flexible. They have experienced so much through distance learning, fires, ice storm, COVID, hybrid, schedule changes, social emotional issues, just crazy lesson planning, staff getting sick and students getting sick. And despite all of that, they're within a week of finishing, and they've done an awesome job of making it all the way through. So a big hand to custodians, students, and all of our staff for persevering. Thank you very much. I have 4 kiddos tonight, 2 from Central Howell and 2 from Prattham. And we have Braden Tickner in the 4th grade from Central Howell. Braden, raise your hand. All right. We have Brantley Collin in the 5th grade from Central Howell. We have Kate Kinsey in the 8th grade from Prattham. And we have Bridget Howell in the 6th grade from Prattham. So Braden and the others, they're going to tell you what was the most challenging thing about learning from home this year, as well as what's on their mind for next year and what they're looking forward to. So Braden, let's start with you. Go ahead and unmute your microphone. And Braden Tickner, let's start with you.
The most challenging thing about learning from home was not having the help that you would in a classroom. For example, I had to read the slides and basically teach myself what I'm learning. Because of this, I don't feel like I was challenged or learning as much as I were in school.
Do you have any thoughts about what you're looking forward to for next year?
If we go back 5 days a week and what it will be like. And being able to see friends along with having field trips and assemblies.
Brantley Collin, let's go to you next. What was most challenging for you learning from home?
The most challenging part was mostly just like all the online school. Yeah, and like not getting the help that you would in a classroom and like keeping track of all the meets that like you have to join.
Mm-hmm. And how about your thoughts about next year and what you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to going back to school full time and maybe like having field trips or something, and like asking questions in person instead of like email, so you can like get a answer all the way, and then like seeing friends full time.
Okay. Kate Kinsey, 8th grader from Prattham. What was most challenging for you learning from home?
For me, the most challenging thing about learning from home was staying motivated. It was difficult because I worked by myself and I didn't have much of an incentive to do my very best. At school, I thrived because I had competition with my peers and I always wanted to be at the top of my class. And it forced me to put my all into it. But at home, since I wasn't as challenged, I didn't feel that push to try harder. I would sometimes slack, especially in Edgenuity, and not try as hard as I know I should have, since I had no one to beat. Since I love competition, distance learning was challenging for me to feel motivated to do my very best.
And how about your thoughts about what you're looking forward to for next year in the 9th grade?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to high school next year, mostly because of the social part. I'm excited to meet new people. And also, I'm just thrilled that we won't be doing distance learning anymore. Going to school and being in the classroom makes me look forward to high school even more.
All right. And Bridget Howell, 6th grader from Prattham. What was most challenging for you this year?
I think the most challenging thing for me was having a good attitude when it came to doing all my schoolwork online. I missed having to look back in a textbook on a hard question. And staying caught up on work every day was another challenge for me. The Prattham teachers and staff were very helpful to me though on meetings.
And what are you looking forward to for next year?
I'm looking forward to having a normal school year and definitely going on field trips again. And the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is not having to wear the masks.
All right, you guys did awesome. Thank you very much for coming online tonight. You can, you're welcome to go, or you can stay on and watch a board meeting.
Thanks,
you very
guys.
much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
that is our Prattam Central Howell segment for this evening. Anything else, Scott? All right, have a great night.
Thank you so much, Dustin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right. Up next, we have our consent agenda, which consists of primarily employment updates and approval of minutes. At this point, I would accept a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I second. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Irv.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Having heard none, Debbie, would you please collect the vote?
Jonathan,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Janet. Thank you. Lori,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
and Irv.
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor.
Right, thank you. Next up, we have a presentation regarding the Chemeketa Community College and Silver Falls School District Partnership. And I believe that Ken Hector and Jessica Howard will be presenting.
Good evening. I'm Jessica Howard. I'm the president and CEO of Chemeketa, and it's a great pleasure to join you this evening with Ken Hector, who I believe you probably all know, and he is an esteemed board member with us at Chemeketa, and his zone of representation includes the Silver Falls School District. So I would like to turn it over to Ken.
Thank you, Jessica. Good evening, board members and Superintendent Drew. For the record, I am Ken Hector, Zone 4 representative for Chemeketa Community College. It's a pleasure to be here tonight to express Chemeketa's appreciation for the great working partnership we've enjoyed with Silver Falls School District for many years. I believe you received a one-page handout outlining some of the talking points and some of the areas where the school district and Chemeketa have worked in common with the students we serve together to ensure their success on the pathway to student success. If you have any questions either along the way or after I share a few points of information, please feel free to ask. Last year, 142 Silverton High students paid $25 to participate in Chemeketa's college credit program now. They earned 620 college credits at Chemeketa, saving their families $67,750 in college tuition and fees. 31% of Silverton High graduates between 2018 and 2019 enrolled at Chemeketa. 313 Silverton High graduates with a 3.5 grade point average or better have enrolled as Chemeketa scholars since the program began in 2008. Chemeketa scholars are awarded a full tuition scholarship to Chemeketa, and they have accumulated a total tuition savings over that period of time of $1,762,702. 214 graduates who received the Oregon Promise enrolled at Chemeketa since the beginning of that grant in 2016. Oregon Promise recipients from Silverton High who came to Chemeketa have been awarded a total of $555,668 to date through that program. Between 2010 and 2019, 490 Silverton High alumni completed either a certificate from Chemeketa or a degree, and 679 of those transferred from Chemeketa to a four-year institution. Hope these data points are meaningful. And again, we thank you for being a great partner with Chemeketa and working to serve our common students. Any questions?
Not sure if it's a question. Well, I know it's not a question, but I will say is with two boys who've benefited from that program, I really appreciate it. And it is everything you just said it was. It's been fantastic.
And Chair Edmonds, we very appreciate you entrusting your kids to Chemeketa, and we hope we've served you well.
Very well, thank you.
Any other questions? You're going to let me off this easy because I was going to defer to President Howard to answer them anyway, but I figured I'd give you the opportunity.
And I just wanted to say thank you for spending time coming tonight and presenting that data. It's very impressive. And I just wanted to say that it's finally great for me to put a face with the name. And I've had a couple of really, really great conversations with you. And it's just nice to see you in this capacity as well.
Thank you, Scott. It is a face that's perfect for radio. So
I knew that was coming.
Thank you all so much. And we look forward to the next time we can present information face to face. So
thank you for your
all
partnership
for Silverton students. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right. Well, next up, we have SFEA. Assuming Michelle's on. Yep.
She's coming in. My computer's running a little bit slow tonight, so I'm sorry.
Hey, Michelle.
Guys, hi everybody. There we go. I get out of the hang of doing the computer meets now that we're teaching hybrid. So I guess that's a good thing to forget, right? Well, I don't have a whole lot to report tonight other than that we are all very much looking forward to a little break over the summer and very, very much looking forward to next school year looking a bit more normal. And I personally have started kind of looking ahead to my plans for next year and the 2 different classes I'm going to teach, and just knowing that I have the ability to teach all of my students 5 days a week next year, and knowing how much more we're going to be able to do with them. It's really invigorating to me, even though I am so exhausted from this school year and so ready for a break. It just feels so good to think about that and to know that that is coming down the pike. It just, I don't know, I just am starting to feel really optimistic. It kind of feels like we've turned a corner, and hopefully we will be looking COVID in the rearview mirror real quick and getting back to normal. So that's my hopeful outlook right now. The other news we have on the SFEA front is that I have chosen to take a step back from the role of SFEA president for next year. And so I'll still be involved. I'll still be continuing my work with SFEA, but it will be in a bit smaller capacity as a vice president. So I'll continue to be a building rep for Silverton Middle School, and I'll be on the executive board as one of our vice presidents. But I'm really excited to let you guys know that Allison Stolfus is the new president of SFEA. And so she will be checking in with you guys this coming school year. And I think we are going to take July off. That has been our plan and our discussion today. So I don't think you'll be hearing from us in July, but we are excited to be on the agenda for August and to step into this new school year refreshed and ready to take on what the 2021-2022 school year has to offer for us. I also just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to both Irv and Shelley for your service on the board. I know that being a school board member takes a lot of time and dedication, and we just really appreciate your willingness to serve our community in this capacity, and wish you luck as you step away from this position for a well-needed, well-deserved break too. So thank you both, and good luck in your next endeavors. So that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, it's been great. Thank you for what you've done as well.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Just a quick comment. I just wanted to thank you, Michelle. Congratulations on getting a chance to step back, because I know it's really, really time consuming. You know, it's like your 5th job out of all of your jobs. So congratulations on the time that you spent doing that. And thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Appreciate it. And I'll get to congratulate Allison when she comes next time.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Janet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. Those kind words. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jonathan,
Yeah, I see your hand. Go ahead, Shelley.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm sorry. My camera's not working tonight. It's finally checked out. So I will just be on audio tonight. But Michelle, I want to thank you so much for your kind words as well. It has been tremendously wonderful working with you over these past 4 years in SFEA. We've come a long way, and I'm just so grateful to have gotten to know you and a lot of the members of SFEA. So thank you so much for that. It really does mean a lot. And good luck to you. I hope to see you around town.
Yes, I'm sure we will. Thank you, Shelley. I know we all feel the same way about you. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to say a thank you to Michelle as well, and for her time and for her leadership. You're one of the most productive and busiest people I know, Michelle. So enjoy your summer and your new horizons. So thank you.
Thanks, Lori.
All right. Well, thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great night.
Good
night.
Okay. Well, next up, we are going to officially open up the budget hearing for 2021-2022 fiscal year. This is something that can be done simultaneously with our regular board meeting, but I'm officially declaring it open, and it will remain open through the second public comment tonight. With that said, I am going to move us right into our first public comment. And Maddie, are you able to open up the comments for people to request at this point?
Yep, just opened it.
Excellent, thank you. So while we're waiting for somebody to perhaps be interested, I will read the statement here that we read at the beginning. We are glad you are here and welcome you to address the board at this time with your ideas, opinions, questions, concerns, or compliments. Remember that we all model the way for our students, and we ask that you share your thoughts in a respectful way. The board's role during public comment is to listen. Rarely will you get an immediate response to information. If there is follow-up necessary, we will direct our superintendent to do that. In order to ensure equity among speakers, the board will limit remarks to 3 minutes. If a group of 3 or more wishes to appoint a representative to speak on its behalf, the board will extend the time for remarks to 5 minutes. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a second public comment later specifically for action items related to this meeting.
We have Eliza Torlin with her hand up. I'm gonna promote her.
All right.
Great.
Hi there. This is Eliza. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say that this has been a very long year, and I wanted to say thank you to all of our school teachers, staff, administrators, and the board for sticking with it. I think that you all have done an extraordinary job at facing numerous challenges, and I know everyone moved through it with their heart and their intention in mind. And thank you to Shelley and Irv for your service to our district. And I wish you all some relaxing Monday nights. And I wanted to also say I really appreciated the communication that came out of the budget meetings at the last 2 budget meetings. I feel like I learned a lot more than I ever have about how money is distributed in this school district. And I'm excited to see that it looks like our budget might be stronger than we expected. I hope that's true still. And I just wanted to say that I noticed that all of these students seem really excited to be going back to school in the buildings. And I think that the silver lining of all of the struggles that we faced here is that we might have a really engaged population of students for the next few years at least. So thank you all so much for helping that happen. I'm done.
Thanks, Eliza. Really appreciate the comments. Shelley.
I just wanted to respond to Liza to thank her for her kind words of thanking me for being on the board and such. So thank you, Eliza, so much for your kind words.
Yeah, thank you, Liza. I really appreciate that.
All right, Maddie, were there any others?
I have gotten no more. Debbie, have you gotten any?
No.
Okay, I think I'm going to move us along. There is a second public comment, as I mentioned earlier. Right, that's going to move us into administrator and staff reports. And first up is our superintendent, Mr. Scott Dripp.
Well, thank you, Jonathan, and thank you, board members. And I wanted to start out my comments and I just with some gratitude if I could. And first off, I wanted to say thank you to Eliza also. It's, you know, normally during public comment, we hear constructive feedback and that's a wonderful part of the process. And I just wanted to say that the time you took to say some nice things on behalf of our 2 board members who are leaving us and on behalf of our kids and staff, that really means a lot to me as a superintendent. And it's certainly been a pleasure getting to know you this year. So thank you for that. I also wanted to congratulate Michelle Stadley for taking a step back. Michelle, it's been an honor getting to know you this year. We've worked through some very challenging issues together, and I look forward to working with you next year on the executive board, and wanted to say congratulations to new SFEA President Allison Stolfus. And Allison, I've gotten to know you very well this year as well, and I look forward to continuing that collaborative partnership and working through serving the kids of Silver Falls. And so thank you for that as well. And which brings me to what Jonathan and I experienced and a couple of other board members last week at the graduation for Silverton High School. And you know, after spending over a year you know, deeply engaged with the Silver Falls community, that was my real first community event. And I was so blown away by it. Jonathan and I just had a ball handing out diplomas and really getting a front row seat, and special shout out to Ed and the staff and to Kevin Ortega, and to Chloe Platt, who I have still been talking about to this day and will continue singing her praises. Those of you who didn't maybe notice that Chloe gave her entire speech at graduation from memory. And I was so blown away by the poise with which she delivered that speech, not once, but twice. It was truly something to behold. And so, Chloe, if you're out there, I want you to know how grateful I am for being able to experience that. And I'm sure I speak for everyone else in Silver Falls. I want to take a minute to recognize Shelley and Irv for their service on the board. And unfortunately, Shelley and Irv, I've gotten to know you during your last year on the board. And so for me, I just want you to know that I consider both of you to be friends, and I hope you stay in touch. And you've been extreme support to me during very difficult times. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart how much I appreciate the both of you. And I wanted to present Shelley, you first, with this plaque that we had made.
Oh.
To read it for you. It says, Silver Falls School District recognizes Shelley Nealon for service above self in appreciation for your service to the students, staff, and citizens of the Silver Falls School District. Board member July 2017 to June 2021. And it's this beautiful plaque. And Irv, I have yours here, this beautiful plaque to thank you for your service as well. And I want you both to know that not only am I grateful to be in Silver Falls, I'm grateful to know the both of you, and you've made me a better person and a better teacher as a result. And I would like to schedule, just so you know, this is sort of on a personal note, I'd like to schedule sort of a last meeting with the two of you so I can give each of you your plaque and sort of hear your closing thoughts as well. I think that's really important. So I just wanted to say thank you, sincere thank you on behalf of everyone in Silver Falls for your service. It's not easy being a board member, and to be a board member this past year is something you will remember the rest of your lives, I am sure. I wanted to give Dan Bush a chance to say a few words, if he had any, on behalf of us, to Irv or Shelley.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. And just to echo the comments of both congratulations to be able to step away, and I know that you know, it's not just 2 Monday nights. There's a lot to keep up on, and there's a lot of homework. And you know, you both know I got here and kind of got into working closely with both of you and the entire board. But Shelley and Irv, you both welcomed me. Finishing up my second year, and you both have been allies and supporters, and I've never ever felt anything but support from both of you. And so truly thank you for welcoming me to Silver Falls and supporting the work that, because when you support our work, you allow us to support the work of our administrative team, to our teacher team who support our kids. So if you ever didn't feel like your work made a difference, let me tell you 100%. Your work directly impacts what we get to do for kids.
And thank you again, both of you, Irv and Shelley. I look forward to staying in touch with you both, and thank you so much. I wanted to switch gears, if I could, to giving a sort of a high altitude view of what summer school will look like. Leslie Roach has been intimately involved with this in implementing summer school, and we have a lot of different funding sources. And Leslie is not here tonight, so I'm going to deliver what would have been her presentation, with the caveat that this is a 20,000 foot view from my vantage point, and I'm going to deliver this information to you so you have a working knowledge. And then if you do have specific questions, that's great. What I'd like to do is, if you'd like more detail, I can have Leslie back during the work session to answer those. I think we have a lot of things going on, and I think this will serve as some some general info for you. So I'm going to share screen real quick, and I'm going to pull this up. And can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to go to present mode. And so the Summer Learning Opportunities Grant. So we have grant money, and we have summer school opportunities at each of our levels. And I'll start with the high school. We have grant requirements for grades 9 through 12, and there's a focus there on credit recovery and getting our students back on track to graduate, which of course is goal number 1 of our strategic plan, that 100% of kids will be on track to graduate. And our staff are contacting students and inviting students for individualized credit recovery. And there will be 2 sessions, June and August, for half days. And at this point, they're inviting 180 Silverton High School students. That's in each session, so 360 total. And that includes transportation and meals for those students. And Sequoia Falls, Jen Hannon's heading up that portion of the grant. It's the same, getting kids back on track to graduate with credit recovery. And there will be one session in August, half days as well. And 40 students are signed up, and that's really positive. And then for our K-8s, we have something going on at each one of our buildings. And this grant stipulates that we address learning gaps and social emotional needs, but also adding in enrichment, making it fun for kids, building relationships with kids and adults and with their peers, really getting kids back up to speed on feeling a part of a community, feeling that getting ready to come back to school 5 days a week. And all of the buildings, Butte Creek, Scotts Mills, Silvercrest, Prattham, Central Island, Silverton Middle School have unique opportunities that are different at each building. And again, those are focused on enrichment and kids building connections and building community. And then we're offering a kindergarten, I would call it kind of a kindergarten academy to address the needs of our kinder students. And that's at Victor Point, Robert Frost, and Mark Twain. And there's also a portion of the grant that wants us to focus on helping new students and their families entering our school system. And we are a part of Camp Invention, which has sort of a STEAM focus to it. And we've paid all the fees for kids who are signed up for that. And I don't know the exact amount, but we do have quite a few kids signed up for that. And so that's just another opportunity. And then we have additional opportunities for our TAG students. And that's a unique camp opportunity for them. And so that gives you some general information on what this will look like this summer. I think one of them, I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. One of the, excuse me, real quick. One of the things that we're running into, of course, is finding staff to staff the summer schools. And actually, I would say that what we found is a lot better than what we thought. So I would say if you had to hold me to a number, we're at approximately 30 teachers. That's actually a lot compared to most districts. And I think it says a lot about the staff we have here in Silver Falls and those teachers who want to give up parts of their summer to help our kids as well. So having said that, I'll go ahead and take a few questions. And Jennifer, I saw your hand up.
Just a question about the ages for the kinder opportunities. Are those incoming kinders?
Yeah, yeah, I believe they're incoming kinders. Yes.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah, Jenna.
There we go. I'm curious about the STEAM, the Camp Invention. Is that going to happen at, do you know if it's happening at one central location or if it's being offered by a number of different schools?
I believe it's offered. I believe it's offered offsite at one location. But go ahead.
I'm going to take a guess here, Janet. I think that is offered at the high school, and there's an elementary teacher and a high school teacher that lead it, and then bring in support staff. It is something that's existed prior to this year, and I believe it's at the high school.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Shelley.
Yeah, I wanted to mention about the camp invention, Janet. Clarissa Bay is the one who started the camp invention a few years ago. And I think she's probably still in charge of it, but I'm not sure. So you could probably get a hold of Clarissa Bay. She's a chemistry teacher at the high school. She'll have a lot of information about that. It's a really, really neat program. So,
it sounds great. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Shelley.
That is correct. Clarissa Bay is leading that.
Other questions? I will send each of you a copy of the PowerPoint slides as well, just so you have those. I'll have it posted also.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Okay. It looks like we are ready to move to our financial report.
Thanks, Jonathan. Good evening, everybody. I have a number of updates for you this evening on a few major topics. First is the monthly enrollment report and the May financials. There's no trend changes on the financial statements, so we'll move on. But enrollment-wise, there's that report linked on BoardBook as well. And we did see a slight decrease in enrollment from the end of April to the end of May. We dropped 15 students to bring us to a total of 3,564 students, which puts us 376 students, or 9.5% below where we were this time last year as we ended school. So we hit that low of minus 11%, got to about minus 9%. And looks like this is where we settled in for the end of this year. So as we finish this year and go into next year, and as we talk about and look to adopt the budget this evening, this is still the major storyline for us, even more than where that final state school fund number ends up. So at just over $9,000 per average daily membership. So at this point, we tried to budget conservatively at roughly a 70% return rate, but some of the information we've been getting over the last few weeks may indicate that it could be something less than that, and so we have to prepare for that. And that'll be a fluid situation as we go through the summer. I think a lot of families are still waiting to hear for sure that we're going to be in person 5 days a week and what the requirements may or may not be. So still, we'll just keep talking about it. Any updates we have every time we meet and see where we're at. The only other item related to 2021 specifically is one of the two resolutions. So resolution number 614-2021-2 is our year-end appropriation house cleaning, so to speak. So in doing my analysis to make sure that we weren't going to overspend any appropriation, I project that we'll need a little bit less than appropriated in major function 1000 instructional services and need a little bit more in support services, and draw a little bit from contingency. Overall, the total appropriation doesn't change. We're just adding $300,000 more into support services. And the reason for that is while we underspent some line items in there because of being in virtual instruction this year, we had a large amount of PPE purchases and the cleanup related to the storm and those types of things. So while we did again spend less in some categories, we spent quite a bit of money on things we didn't project. Now the good news is while we need a little more appropriation, we do have revenue sources for those expenditures. Again, that wasn't planned. So whether it be CARES Act money, which essentially is ESSER 1, ESSER 2 dollars, or potentially FEMA dollars. We actually have two FEMA claims open, one for COVID-19 and one for the ice storm, which was a federally declared disaster. And Marion and Clackamas are two of the, I believe, 8 counties that were included in that. We had our first scoping meeting with the FEMA team today. And if all goes well there, we could get 75% of our costs back. But with FEMA, it's kind of a long process, and we haven't received the funds for that yet, but that would be something most likely we would get in the 21-22 year. So anyway, this resolution is just to do a little housekeeping with the appropriation as we end the year, so that we're within those parameters when we close the books and get the audit report done. The next major topic is an update on the pension obligation bond. Janet, Jonathan, Scott, and I had our monthly finance work group meeting last Tuesday. We've had one each of the last 4 months, I believe, and we will continue that year round. We'll take July off, but we talked a little bit about where we're at with the pension obligation bond. And we actually had a meeting today with Piper Sandler and our municipal advisor to go over our due diligence report and to just get organized with our potential structure. We just received our payoff amounts from Milliman for the actuary as to what we would be paying PERS and what kind of a rate credit we would get, which was very close to what the schedules that Lauren presented back in March looked like. So they actually updated those schedules for us. But I can tell you that as of right now, things look still very positive in terms of our borrowing rate environment. It's still well below the lowest rate they've ever had in this program over 20 years. As of today, we would be probably still below 3% on our true interest cost, which is really quite incredible. So right now, I believe that, we still have over a month to go. We do have to kind of make a decision by July 6th as to, go or no go. And then the sale takes place about a week and a half after that. We did put a cap of 4% in the resolution that you approved back in May. So that's a parameter for us. But as of right now, based on the rate environment, we would be a go. And as far as the assumed earnings rate on the other side, PERS did have their meeting here a week or two ago, their June meeting. And right now they're talking about lowering the assumed earnings rate from 7.2% to 7%. And it doesn't look like it will go below 6.8%. But even at a 7% assumed earnings rate, the schedules really didn't change much for us either. So I think the key for us is that if the borrowing rates stay close to where they're at now, it really provides a much more comfortable cushion for if the 2007 earnings scenario played itself out, because we would be, nearly 2% below what the borrowing rate was for those districts. So to me, that's a very key measurement in whether to move forward. We did have our municipal advisor, David Olbrich from Special District Association on the line today. And I asked him, based on where things sit right now, what would you recommend for Silver Falls? And he said he still believes that this is an excellent opportunity for Silver Falls and the other 20 plus school districts in this pool to save significant dollars on their pension costs long term. So that's where we sit today. I will plan on joining part of the June 28th work session to provide another update, just because I want to have every opportunity to communicate with you as we move to these last critical steps. Are there any questions on that topic specifically? Okay, great. Thanks for sticking with me on that. I know it's a complicated issue, but I feel good that we've had 3 or 4, almost 5 months of conversation about this now. And I do feel like it's progressed nicely, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed for the next 4 weeks. The last topic is the budget. So the second resolution obviously is the resolution that we would normally pass to adopt the 21-22 budget, make appropriations, and levy and categorize taxes. And so I put a cover sheet together that explained it and what the motion would look like should you choose to move forward with that. But I can tell you, as we've moved from the second budget committee meeting to the meeting tonight, we know all about the state forecast. I've linked all of the materials from both budget committee meetings under the item number 8, open budget hearing. Both of those agendas, material links, and video recordings were on there. And there's a lot of good materials for those that weren't at the budget committee meetings in the audience for you to look back at, or you could simply just go back to that meeting and look up those items. But as we talked about quite a bit on May 20th, the state quarterly economic forecast was extremely positive, better than they ever could have expected, even much better than 3 months ago. It really just came down to how much is the legislature willing to increase the general fund budget this year, and specifically for us, the state school fund budget. So we can safely say that 9.3 is the minimum. And we kind of had that feeling back a couple weeks ago. I can tell you that we did, districts and organizations around the state the last 2 weeks have made a last second push to try to get the state school fund bumped from 9.3 billion for the 21-23 biennium to 9.6 billion, which is what most experts agree is our current service level. There's a letter that I linked on the agenda. This is the first page here. That was an advocacy letter sent out on June 3rd from OSBA, COSA, OEA, OSCA, Oregon Small Schools, some of the larger districts, to President Courtney, Speaker Kotek, and the co-chairs of the House and Senate to advocate for the 9.6. In addition, we were encouraged to send letters like we did earlier in the session to our local representative and senator, in this case, Representative Lewis and Senator Girod. So Scott sent those because, again, it was such a short timing that we had. They were email letters to Senator Girod and Representative Lewis last week. And Representative Lewis did respond the next day, and his take is that the budget will be 9.3 and not higher. Honestly, I don't know officially where this stands. It's House Bill 5514, and as I looked at it today, it still shows the 9.3. Representative Lewis said that vote's already gone through the House. He did not make a reference to the Senate vote. I didn't find it, but he says it's to the point where the governor would be signing it. So I haven't heard anything the last couple of days. This was news as of about last Thursday. So we'll let you know as soon as that's done. But again, every 100 million means just over 300,000 per year additional funds in the general fund for Silver Falls School District. So at least we were able to get from 9.1 to 9.3, and we'll see where that ends up, because it just means a little additional revenue to help us with especially with the enrollment situation and the unknowns with that's going to extend well into the summer. And at least we do have some federal dollars to help us. But at this time, I don't recommend any changes to the approved budget. I believe that even though we budgeted revenue at 9.1 billion, I believe the offset to that could be, if enrollment's even a little less than we projected, that number could end up being around where we have budgeted that figure anyway. And I believe expense-wise, we are at the appropriation level that would be needed to service, based on a lesser enrollment. So I feel like the budget is laid out in a position that would serve us appropriately for next year. So I guess with that's really, I think the other thing too is within the materials for the two meetings, one of the documents is Superintendent Drew's budget message. And we did actually link that separately as well under financial report, because it really is a good summary of how the budget was built, and makes it easier to find. So hopefully that was helpful as well. So other than that, I really don't have any other comments on the budget, other than I think we're to the point where, you know, like any year, there's still some unknowns, but I feel like it's set at a reasonable level. I think that's all I had for tonight in my report. Is there any questions on the budget? Jennifer?
Yeah, Jennifer.
Not a comment, just a thank you for making the work so transparent. I really appreciate that. And I think that, you know, what Eliza said in her public comment, that she learned more this year during our budget committee process than any other year. I concur. I think that we've really stepped it up, and I wanted to thank you, Steve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate it. I also wanted to say, this is last but not least, also say thank you to Shelley and Irv for your service. Every one of you put in so many hours, and it does have a tremendous impact on kids in this community. Just blown away by that. And I just am thankful and appreciate you both a lot. Shelley, you've been very supportive of me in the 4 years that you've been on the board, and Irv, since I walked in the door 6 years ago, you as well. So thank you.
Yes, Shelley.
Well, thank you, Steve. I agree with Jennifer on every word she said. I feel like since I got on the board 4 years ago, you have just done such a great job of improving the explanations of how the budget works in our district. And I think it's just been so appreciative, not only for me, but for our community. You know, they're interested, and you've just made it so easy for them to understand. And if they have questions, you know, it's just, you've done such a great job of explaining it and inviting people in, you know, to talk about it. And, you know, that's just such a healthy relationship. So I've enjoyed really learning from you for these 4 years. And I do appreciate your effort and your time and all the work that has been done the 4 years. It's been quite a roller coaster ride. But yeah, thank you so much. It's been wonderful working with you. It really has.
Thank you, Shelley. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Irv.
Yeah, Steve, I just wanted to say thank you as well. You know, oftentimes when you present your report, you ask if there's any questions. Well, you present it in such a good, thorough way, transparent way, like was said. There's not a lot of questions to ask, but I always kind of feel bad because don't have no questions for you. But keep up the good work, and it's just been awesome working with you, and your honesty and your integrity, and it really means a lot to our district. Thank you.
Thank you, Irv.
Any other questions for Steve or comments? I'll just say that as far as that pension obligation business, I mean, as long as we stay nice and low on those rates, that gives me a big sigh of relief. So I got my fingers crossed that that's where we end up.
Agree.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, where does that put us? We are now on our discussion items. And first up, we have 11A, which is the renewal of Scott's contract. And his updated contract is on Board Book, and I presume everybody's had a chance to look at it. As a summary, the updates are predominantly prescriptive, meaning the salary was adjusted per the contract that we adopted a year ago, and I've rolled the dates forward. So the only changes you'll really see are those in the contract. Is there any discussion? Anybody want to have any conversation about it? Nope. Okay. Well, with there being none, we also have a number of second as well as final readings for policy updates tonight. And so I'm going to run through those, and I am going to read off the names, and I'll wait a little bit. And if there isn't any comments, then I will quickly move to the next one. As a reminder, when we vote on the ones in their final reading later, we will vote on the block unless somebody requests that we pull one out. So with that, let's see, is there any conversation or discussion on policy AC, non-discrimination? Okay, executive sessions, BDC. Minutes of board meetings, BDDG. Public comment at board meetings, BDDH. Core teaching standards, GCN-AR. Religion in schools, IGAC. Recognition of religious beliefs and customs, IGAC-AR. Recognition of religious beliefs and customs, IGAC-A. And IGAC-AR. Graduation exercises, IKFB. Weapons in schools, JFCJ. Student suicide prevention, JHH. Okay, now moving into ones on their final reading, communicable diseases, GBEB. And the related AR. And then the next two are communicable diseases staff and the related AR. GBNA, hazing, harassment, intimidation, bullying, menacing, or cyberbullying. And the related AR. Okay. If there are no other discussion about any of those policies, we'll move right along.
I just had a quick question, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this to Debbie, and I just want to make sure I'm seeing the right thing. And that was a final version of GBNA AR, and maybe I just need to reload my page. I just want to make sure, because when I checked last, it was still marked up, which is probably fine as long as the markings are final markings. But I did also want to make sure that we were just looking at the very final copy. I will toggle around and make sure that I can find it, and we can move ahead. And then if for some reason there's a problem, we can come back to it.
Okay. All right. Janet, you're good with us moving on then? I want to make sure. Okay, thank you. So next up, we have board reports, and Ms. Nealon has asked to give a report tonight.
Thank you. I just wanted to read a statement for my outgoing for leaving. So it has been an honor and a privilege to have served on the Silver Falls School Board. In the past 4 years, I have successfully fulfilled the duties of this position, including, most importantly, representing the community and advocating for students. I look back with fondness when we as a board could work together to modernize or create and adapt our strategic visioning plan and process, our equity policy, the All Students Belong policy, having a standing agenda item for SFEA and classified unions, a decorum policy, our decorum policy, and that's just to name a few. I am proud to have been an integral part of the process that brought innovative and inclusive leadership to our school district. It has been exciting to observe the current administration implement a broader and improved vision for the future of the district. For example, there has been a shift to instructional leadership and away from management leadership. Our new district vision focuses on the well-being and educational opportunities for all students. The Long-Range Facilities Committee process was expanded by adding new voices to share their expertise and ideas. We have significantly improved our budget committee selection with updated processes and more transparency. We significantly improved the communication with our community by eliminating the inappropriate abuse of executive sessions. I decided not to run for a second term because of the destructive political behavior towards me. Board members are supposed to be nonpartisan. Education of children should be the least political environment of any position attained. The intentional targeting, harassment, and distractions created by former administrations, some staff members, some community members, and some fellow board members was incredibly disrespectful and harmful. This is not behavior that we should be modeling for our students. Their efforts to silence me and pressure me to resign only emboldened me to work harder. I persevered and continued to focus on the job that I was elected for. I was a representative for all community members, including those whose voices had been ignored. My wish for the success and healthy sustainability of this school board is to allow the creative ideas of others to be received with an open mind and willingness to discuss different perspectives with intelligent and thoughtful responses. I want to remind the board that your job is to govern by consensus. The board needs to allow for respectful and productive discussions, compromise as a cohesive group, and come to an understanding on topics by putting students first. We need board leadership that is willing to facilitate and guide this process. Our students deserve your very best work, and I wish you all of the luck in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. Appreciate it. Appreciate your service, appreciate your time, appreciate getting to know you over the last 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah, Irv?
Yeah, I guess I'll take this time just to say a few words as well. First, I'd like to thank Superintendent Scott and Assistant Superintendent Dan for your kind words. In German, I would say, so viel Fuss bin nicht wert. That means so much attention, I am not worthy. I've had the privilege of serving the Silver Falls School District with 4 superintendents. and you have all been awesome, every one of them. I am so thankful for the leadership that we've had at Silver Falls School District, our staff and our teachers, and that's what makes this district so unique. We have the K-8 schools and the culture that each one of those schools bring to our district. And with each one of those K-8s comes a great parent association that really supports the kids and makes the kids feel part of a community. And with today's environment, that's something we're missing so bad is community. And I am so hopeful and I am so fortunate to be able to help vote for 5 days of school instructional leadership next year. You know, it's kind of humbling to think about this graduating class this year was in the first grade when I started. So it's been a bit, but it has been awesome serving the kids and looking out for what's best for the kids. It's just been an incredible run. So I just feel like it's time for somebody else to step in my shoes and to take leadership and ownership of our community and do what's best for the kids. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Irv. It's been a pleasure to get to know you over the last several years as well. Really appreciate it and all the time you've given to the community. Anybody else have any comments to make regarding the outgoing members? Yeah, Jennifer.
I just wanted to say that I appreciate the positive changes to procedures. I think that we have made, oftentimes supported by Shelley's input. And I also wanted to say that working with Irv was like the greatest surprise that I never knew I needed in my board work. You know, I started this work and not knowing Irv at all. And he quickly changed that. And it's just been a unique opportunity that I will always remember. Thanks, Irv.
Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, Jen.
I'll be quick because everyone's already said all the good things. I just wanted to thank both Shelley and Irv for their service. We know it's a lot of work and sometimes thankless and always challenging. And so I appreciate you both very much. And you deserve a rest. You deserve a break. So thank you so much.
Lori.
Yes, I just would like to say to both Shelley and Irv, thank you for serving the way you have, the endless amount of hours and time, the committees, the input. Now you're stepping back and I wish you and your families all the best and enjoy those fantastic free Mondays now. So thank you both very much.
Yeah, Lori, you stole my thunder. I was going to say the same thing. And enjoy your free Mondays. Thank you. Yeah, no, Shelley, thanks for your service. It's been great. And you know, I'm sure we'll still hear from you from time to time. Thank you both very much.
All right. Well, I believe that brings us to our second public comment. So once again, if we would open up the chat option so that people could request it, or if you wish, you can email Debbie Veloff at Veloff_Debbie@silverfalls.k12.org.
I've not received any emails, Jonathan.
Just give it another little bit, make sure that somebody isn't trying to figure out how to connect to us. Just double checking with you, Maddie. Anybody requesting?
Nope, I've gotten no one.
I think, given that we didn't have any, I'll just take this moment to thank you, Maddie, for all your support to us in Zoom. You've been fantastic, and I wish you the very, very best. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with no public comment, we're going to move into the next section, which is going to move us into our action items. And we've talked a little bit about many of those already. But before I do that, I'm going to officially mention that we are closing the budget hearing. It was open through the second public comment, and we're now going to close it and move into our action items. The first action item tonight is to approve Resolution 6-14-2021, which, as Steve talked about during his presentation, is the transfer of appropriations in general fund fiscal year 2020-2021. And the resolution is attached. At this point, I would accept a motion to approve that resolution. Yep. Tom?
Yeah, okay. I'll do it. Let me get here to the read it right. I move that we approve Resolution 614-2021, the transfer of appropriations in general fund for fiscal year 2020 to 2021.
So moved.
Second.
And seconded. Any discussion? There being no discussion, Debbie, would you please take the vote?
Jonathan?
I vote yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Tom?
Aye.
Lori?
Yes.
Shelley? Shelley?
Yes. Sorry.
Irv?
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor?
All right, thanks. That moves us to 15B, to approve the resolution adopting our budget for, well, excuse me, I'll read it properly. Approve resolution adopting budget, levying taxes, and making appropriations for fiscal year 2021-2022. And again, we went through the budget meetings and Steve talked about it and the fact that he's not recommending any changes to what we approved during the budget meeting. So at this point, I would accept a motion to approve that resolution.
I move that the resolution number 614-2021 be adopted to adopt the budget, make appropriations, impose property taxes, and categorize taxes for the 2021-2022 fiscal year.
So moved. Seconded by Irv. All right, any discussion? Again, a great thanks to Steve for helping us navigate some pretty muddy waters here this year. Thank you. Debbie, would you go ahead and call the vote, please?
Jonathan?
I vote yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Tom?
Aye.
Lori?
Yes.
Shelley?
Yes.
Irv?
Yes.
All in favor?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, next up, 15C, approve the superintendent contract of employment, which we did discuss earlier.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the superintendent contract of employment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Sorry, Tom.
All right, moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this? Okay, Debbie?
Jonathan.
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Janet.
Yes.
Tom.
Aye.
Lori.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Irv.
Yes.
All in favor.
Very good. 15D, approve final policy readings. I won't read them all off again, but there's a block. It's on board book. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 updates included.
I just had a quick question, Jonathan. I know we're trying to approve these as a bundle. I'm still not seeing the clean copy of GBNA and GBNA AR. If maybe that's just me and board book being cranky with me, I'm happy to just move on. But if no one has a clean copy, I think we should probably make sure we have that before we approve it. It's important policy. I want to make sure everyone is clear on what's in it. So I don't know if anyone else has.
When I clicked on it, it was the marked up version as well.
Okay.
Mine as well. Yeah.
So why don't we do this? I respect that concern. And I don't imagine, I'm going to ask, I'll put Dan and Scott on the spot. If we delay this and adopt it with the next bundle, is that going to create any difficulties for you?
No, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Would it be appropriate to, we could either the next board meeting or the work session once the cleaned up versions get posted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
At the work session?
It seems like the work session, you've been the board to review all these readings and everything, and outside of just a clean copy, feels like at the work session would feel like the most appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll work on having it at the work session, and I guess if not at the work session, then at the next regular meeting. But
perfect.
I think that's reasonable. And so what I will do is let's presume then, well, if somebody wants to make a motion to approve the other three, we'll then just consider those two tabled for tonight.
I move to approve policy GBEB, GBEB-AR, and GBEB-JHCC-AR.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay. Debbie?
Jonathan.
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Janet.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Irv.
Yes.
All in favor.
Right, thank you. Next up, future agenda item requests, an opportunity to let the superintendent and our board chair kind of know what's on your mind. And you know, if you're thinking of bringing up something that you'd like to make sure everybody else knows about.
Yeah, I have one. And I'm not sure it's really an agenda item necessarily, but I would like to freshen up our statement for public comment. It feels a little bit like Detective Joe Friday from Dragnet wrote it. And so what I'd like to do is make it a little bit more, just not alter the content, but freshen it up. And I don't know how the rest of you feel about that, but I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you. Yeah, duly noted.
Jonathan?
Okay. Yep.
And so this isn't a future agenda item, but Steve and I are collectively known as the calendar kings for the superintendent cabinet. And we make sure things are on the calendar appropriately. And I noted, I was just wanting to confirm I think you had discussed at one point about moving the July board meeting. And I don't know if the board had actually taken action on that, if that needs to be at the work session. Or just wanted to kind of, as we kind of turn the corner here, on that, and didn't know if you guys had landed on a decision there.
Thank you. I was actually about ready to bring it up too. I don't believe actions are required, but yeah, we did move the meeting date to July 18th, which was 1 week after. I think it's the 18th. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have my calendar up in front of me. We moved it out a week.
Oh.
Let me.
It's the 19th.
Sorry, 19th. Thank you. July 19th. We did move it out a week to address a couple of people that were going to be out on vacation during the previous slot. And I had brought it up. Nobody had suggested there were conflicts or that it was going to make, you know, it was going to be whack-a-mole where some people were gone on one and then others were gone on the other. So with that being the case, we are planning to move it to that week later.
For those of us who like an accurate calendar, we thank you.
Yeah, no, it's really important, and I agree. Yeah. Okay. With that, it moves us to our last item, which is adjourning of the meeting. So thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Meeting adjourned.